What is the best Springer or break barrel air rifle on the market today? Tap the thumbs up icon and we'll go ahead and get started. Prior to purchasing an advanced Springer, I did a tremendous amount of research, hours and hours. It was probably over 6 months worth of time of research before I ever went ahead and pulled the trigger on a purchase. Now, growing up, I had several cheap air rifles, Crossman type air rifles, pump, and a very inexpensive, say a $30 or $40 break action that probably shot around 300, 350 feet per second. And I've also had repeater handgun BB pistols that were okay out to say 15 yards, probably shooting in the 200 to 300 feet per second range. But I mean, for example, in regards to squirrel hunting, I just found that those didn't have enough energy to really be effective on harvesting a squirrel. They would just bounce off the animal. The animal would go on about its day like nothing would ever happen. Now, my grandfather had an old break barrel from China, and it was a 177 caliber, and it was probably shooting around 500 to 600 feet per second. Now, for birds out to say 10 or 15 yards, if you could get the sights to work properly, it was effective on small birds at 10 to 15 yards. And it may be a chipmunk, you might be able to, if you hit it in the right spot, but the chances of hitting that chipmunk in the right spot was very slim to none. I mean, you got really lucky if you made a good shot on a chipmunk with that particular model. So I really wanted to spend a decent amount of money and get a good value for my dollar. And so I spent a long time researching. So I did the research for you, so you don't have to look past this video and making a good choice. Now, I'm not being paid to push this company, brand. And if you go through the link, there'll be, of course, a very small commission. But outside of that, this is all on my experience. I have probably put about 500 to 700 pellets through this break barrel Springer. And I've harvested many small game birds, squirrels, and it is super effective anywhere from, I mean, up close and personal, but I mean, average range of harvest, I'd say it was between 25 and 60 yards. Very easily drops a squirrel out of the top of a tree. No different than, say, a 22 long rifle or a 17 HMR. I would say the max range on this particular model is approximately 100 yards. I probably wouldn't be getting into anything outside of 100 yards. But no, you're gonna need to sight the scope in for those longer ranges. But usually if you sight in at say 25 yards, it's usually good from 25 to 60 yards from what I've found. Now, which model am I talking about? That would be the brand of Gamo or Gamo, G-A-M-O. You can find these on Amazon and many other places. Certainly check out the Amazon. Usually that's a lower price and free shipping, but I'm sure you can find it at other places as well. I got mine off of Amazon. These are made in Spain. They have a 5-year warranty. Customer service is extremely responsive. I have not had one issue. This is the Gamo Swarm Gen 2 Maxim 10X, the 22 Magnum caliber. And with alloy pellets, this shoots, I think, up to 1,300 feet per second, and that's 22 caliber Magnum again. It takes approximately 41 pounds to break the barrel, so I'd say that's one of the downsides. Is it's very taxing to bring that barrel down, and of course bringing it back up is not an issue, but bringing it down to cock it is I'm in pretty good shape, and it's a workout. There's no doubt about it. So that's the downside to it, but for small game, in my mind, there is not a better option out there. I mean, there are, and one other item that I really like about this is that it is a repeater. It comes with a rotary 10-shot magazine. So every time you break the barrel and bring it back up, it's another pellet in the chamber. You don't have to go fiddle through a tin of pellets and break the barrel and push it in the hole. Especially if you're out in the woods, you can just break the barrel and bring it up and you're ready to go for another shot. You're not having to get the tin of pellets out of your pocket and fumble around, and then you drop the tin of pellets and they go everywhere. A real issue. Now, I have seen one other brand with the rotary magazine on a Springer, but I'm pretty sure it was made in China and it only went up to, I think, 900 feet per second. And I have had no issues with the magazine malfunctioning. I did have a couple of bad pellets get in that had an issue, but I just basically got rid of those pellets and the magazine was fine. You can buy multiple magazines, so maybe you're going for a half a day hunt. You got 2 or 3 or 5 magazines in your pocket. You don't ever have to open a tin of pellets when you're out in the field. And it comes with a 3x9x40 scope. Now, a lot of people say, oh, those scopes are junk. Well, I can tell you, I have a decent amount of experience in mounting scopes, and I've not had an issue with a scope because I torque the screws to the proper specs. You should not exceed 15 inch-pounds on the scope mounting rings that go around the tube of the scope. And just make sure you're tightening them down evenly before you torque them. But that is the key. I think a lot of times people have trouble with the scope, won't hold zero, or they end up breaking. Is because they have over torqued those scope rings. And it's very easy to do if you do not have a specific inch-pound torque wrench. And most people, I think, do not have that. So I will put a link down below for the torque wrench that I use. And so you can order you one. It'll last a lifetime. You won't ever have to worry about over torquing scopes again. And I mentioned the pellets for this you can find anywhere. Very rarely have I been to Walmart or a sporting goods store and they did not have some type of 22 caliber pellets. Now, if you get online, you can find higher quality 22 caliber pellets, but in a pinch, you can find what you need. Through this big ammunition shortage, I haven't really seen a shortage of pellets. I think maybe once or twice there was a situation where I did not see 22 caliber pellets, but that's been over a 2-year period. Again, 500 to 700 shots, I've had no issues with this, and the trigger is adjustable. In many cases, the trigger is a big part of accuracy, and this is a 2-stage trigger, and it's adjustable on 2 different points, and I think it gets down to 2 pounds. 1.5 to 2 pounds, I think, is the lowest settings on it. I've had no issues there. Now, I will say you definitely need to follow the rule of the holding, and that is the artillery hold. And what that is when you have this upper hand up here, you want to put as little pressure and grip on the forward as possible. You want that rifle simply to rest in your hand. Just enough to maintain steadiness, but do not put any pressure, because when that piston's functioning, it needs to do its thing. And when you have pressure and you're holding up here, that affects the function of the firing. And another benefit to a Springer or break barrel is you don't have to fiddle with air tanks. You don't have to worry about running out of air when you're on a hunt. You just break the barrel and you're ready to go again. You don't have to mess with any type of expensive oxygen air compressors and scuba tanks and regulators and tubes and this and that and watching gauges. Now, I would say what would be really cool for Gamo to come out with would be some type of new technology with break barrels or Springers, in that have it as a Bullpup setup. So this is about, I think, a 21.3 inch barrel, which really helps with its accuracy and its velocity. But it would be cool to see them maintain the power, the accuracy, the barrel length, and have this in some type of Bullpup design, but still relying on the Springer technology, whereby you don't have to worry about air tanks, but you still have in Bullpup form. Because this is a very long unit. I mean, it is super long. So being in a compact blind or you're really restricted on your movement, it can be an issue. That along with the issue with breaking down the barrel being pretty tough, those are about the only 2 downsides. Now, I will say I do plan on upgrading the scope one day to maybe a nice Hawk Air Max, where I can get a little more zoom and the field of view and precise on the parallax, because this scope does not have a parallax adjustment, which can be an issue. So. So, I'll definitely do another review when I upgrade that in the future. But I will say I do plan on upgrading the scope one day to maybe a nice Hawk Air Max, where I can get a little more zoom and the field of view and precise on the parallax, because this scope does not have a parallax adjustment, which can be an issue. So I'll definitely do another review when I upgrade that in the future. But I'd like for you to comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are on the best break barrel air or springers out there, what your opinion is. And especially in the 22 Magnums is what I'm interested in, because I'm more interested in hunting versus target practicing and smaller birds. But tap the thumbs up icon, the subscribe button, and if you'd like to give this a try, check out the link below, and I'll put another link for the torque wrench, which will keep you from screwing your scopes up. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.